Okay, we're up to level 5, the saint. So we've done level 3, children routine, level 4, cha-cha-cha, level 4, whistle routine, the level 5, 6 feet under routine. Now we have the level 5 routine called the saint. And this is really easy. Just start, everyone stand up. Feet about 30 centimetres apart, slightly turned out, and arms in line with your body out to the side. Standing up, tight tummies, bottoms tucked under, looking forward. Yes, Zoe, is that right? Yeah, that's it. That's the saint. Really easy. Then we had the 6 feet under routine, which was left knee bent, right leg out, left arm bent to shoulder, right arm extended forward. This way. That's the level 5, 6 feet under. Level 5 whistle routine was the kneeling one. Yep. Yep. Kneeling, hands on hips at the back, twisting to the right. I can see everyone else is like me, doesn't want to get down on their knees. That's level 4 whistle. Level 4 cha-cha-cha routine. Right foot, left foot crossed over the front, arms folded. And the level 3 children routine. Left foot pointed back the back, arms back. We've only got one more after this. There's our start position. Thanks, Zoe. Actually, it's quite opportune that we have this picture up here, but all the dance positions move from level 3, 4, 5 and 6. All the same type of movements and positions are carried through. So if your gymnast starts at level 3 and learns the correct dance and the correct posture, then it moves through and they just develop and build on them as they move up the levels. The level 3 routine is really quite basic and structured, straight up and down the floor on a line. The level 4, you can do it up and down on a strip, but if you've got lots of space in your gym, you can use, there's a floor pattern if you wanted to work it on the floor. Level 5, both routines are on the floor, the full 12-metre square, and same for level 6. And they build in difficulty, not just in difficulty in skill, but difficulty in the dance as well. So, and there is, I think the comments are that of the 2 level 4 routines, one of them's slightly harder than the other for dance for some kids because it has a bit more difficulty in matching with the music. So there's little things like that you might like to get a handle on all the routines before you choose which ones you're going to do for which kids, whether you're going to do all in your gym, all the same routine, or whether you're going to allow the children to choose depending on their own abilities. Okay, I'll just whip through these quickly. Basically, they're as per FIG, so it's as per what we've been doing for the last however many years with deductions. So all the same sort of deductions that have applied, it's just tweaking some of them. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they're all basically the same. They're all in the manual, specific for the compulsory routines. Now, what we're saying for the text, as you notice for that one of those start positions is that the arms bent here and arms out there. If the girl was here, there's no deduction. The whole idea is that you should be teaching them the correct arm positions and the correct dance positions. But if one girl puts her arm up here all the time, even though you've told her 1,000 times to put it there, that's not a deduction. And the judge is not going to be penalising kids for the wrong arm positions. It's not that we don't want them to do it correctly, it's just that we understand that some kids, their kinesthetic awareness of where their body parts are in space is not as good as others. So arm positions won't be, oh, she had the out in front instead of out to the side. That's not the focus that we're trying to penalise. But there are deductions for variations in text overall for arm, foot and leg positions, so all the positions. So if she did the routine and she was all over the shop and she didn't have any of the dance positions, then the judge may choose to take 0.1 or 0.3 overall the floor or beam routines for not having the correct or for variations in the text. What is the most important thing? For example, where the asterisk is, the skills have a specific start and finish position, and every single routine, the way the routines are choreographed, it says the cartwheel is to cartwheel and step in, or the handstand step in, or it might say handstand to lunge. They are specific and must be adhered to, and the judge will deduct if they're not actually set to the choreography as required.
With that, in like the routine videos,
Yep.
the girls
Yep.
do say their split leaps from run, when in the book it says they have to be from sachet, like
Yep.
make sure I following that.
Okay, or there's a couple, I was just going to show you for the level 5 beam, the video, the girl does the mount and she does a straddle hold and then she does the dance, little dance lying thing, and it's opposite to what's in the text. The text is always correct, the videos are there as a guide. So while the videos may have some errors, for example on the beams, the little passe half turns, you have to hold that releve position for 2 seconds. The girl in the video doesn't hold it for 2 seconds, but we go with the text. So what the text says is correct. And the way the skills are choreographed in the routine also, there is no mucking around stuff or no empty bit at the end of a skill before the choreography starts. The end of the skill is the start of the choreography. So you need to make sure you read, it quite specifically says from, whatever the rebounding jump out of the tumble, and they rebound, jump, and then they step forward or they step side or whatever they do. And it's quite specific. And that's where the deduction. And then when we do the judges courses, the judges will be taught to they have to learn all the requirements that's actually in that routine of which specific start and end position of each of the skills. And it's developmental. So it starts off at the basic for level 3 and builds as it goes up to level 6. So the individual can learn the correct progression and the correct development. There's all stuff about arm positions, what bent arms are, legs apart, height of elements, tuck positions, pike positions, stretch positions. If you have to do adjoining elements on beam, hesitations, deviation from straight direction, meaning that when you dismount off beam, you should dismount directly in line with the beam, not out to the side. That's a deduction because it's all in a line. What splits are. Okay, this is lack of split for each level, and it's written in the manual, so it progressively gets built up. But the whole idea is if your gymnast is so inflexible that they can't split leap, they're going to lose that deduction, but that's all they're going to lose. They won't lose the value of the skill. They'll just try the skill, and gradually, with more work, working with the physical testing program, working that skill development program, they'll improve. And they're all the deductions, and they're all in the manual for you to follow. It shows you what the deductions are for posture on landing, etc., etc. I'll just show you this. If you have a look at this girl, this is the level 5 beam that I mentioned. She actually does the mount the wrong way round. So she goes up to do her straddle hold, and then she does this little dance choreography. It's the other way round. She should do that lying on the beam and then the straddle hold, because that's what the text says. So that's the sort of thing that the videos may vary. Cartwheel to lunge. And this, those half turns should up on releve and hold. Okay, two things I want to mention. Well, we can have a look at that in a minute. Two things I'd like to mention. First of all, I'm sure this will happen during the day. At level 3, it's interesting on the videos that I've got for the judges course, there's a tiny little girl does the level 3 floor routine, and she starts here and she goes halfway across the floor and back again, because that's all her stuff she fits in. Then there's a level 3 girl that's my size, and she starts here and she goes all the way to the far line and all the way back. So basically the whole idea is you need to position your start where it's fitting for that gymnast, so that you don't want your level 4 routine, if you're going to use the floor pattern, if she starts in the wrong place, that she's only using a 3 metre square floor corner. So you need to make sure she's positioned so she's using the centre of the floor. Or if you're a larger girl with bigger leaps and bigger steps, that you start in a position that's going to allow you to have the whole floor area. The same happens on the beam, so that if you are a tall gymnast and you're going to use the whole length of the beam, then you start where it says to start. But if you're a tiny girl and only has little steps, you might need to start further along on the beam so that you can get to the end for your dismount without having the extra steps. All the beam and floor are choreographed with no extra steps anywhere. So there's a specific placement of every foot is choreographed. And that will be the difference between a really good performance and a poorer performance, at how well they can tune in with the music and do the movement. And I'm sure one of the things that you'll be focused on today when you learn the floor routines is that the music, every beat or couple of beats of the music, there is movement that fills that music. And if your gymnast is too fast or too slow, it means that they're not matching their movement to fit with the music. So some of the music's quite slow. And if they do their arm movement and move on, they've done it too quickly. So you need to make sure they actually fill the music with the movement. One other thing, at level 3 and 4, one of the issues we have is that some of these really little girls were using a 125 high beam or even a 100 centimetre beam, and they were jumping their dismounts for the whole metre to get down to the floor, and it was an unsafe process. So we've said that the landing surface for the end of the beam should be no greater than 60 centimetres. So the gymnast should not jump from the beam greater than a 60 centimetre height to land. So whatever height you have your beam, you need to have a landing box or mat or some structure for the end of the beam to be jumping, so there's a greater distance than 60 centimetres. And it's a safety issue. Some of those little kids I was watching and their ankles, I thought, oh my God, they're, just that huge depth. So it actually states no greater than 60 centimetres. It means that basically it's about 60 centimetres or less, because the whole idea of the dismount is not how far they go down, it's they're jumping off the beam that we're looking at and being able to control their body in the air and then have a nice landing. And actually bringing the landing mat up actually will help them to have a secure landing as long as they have a nice high rebounding jump off the beam. So that's at level 3 and 4. I don't know whether everyone's seen these routines, but maybe if I press play. If you buy the manual and the DVD comes with it, I'm not sure, I think whatever it is. Okay, I'll go back and play the level 3 one if I can, because it's, well, I really like that one, the level 3. Yeah, I think it's just back a bit further. I was just going to say something then about those floor routines. Anyone got any other questions?
I'm just curious, why in videos,
Yep.
a lot of kids are visual,
Oh, no.
coaches are visual.
Yeah.
Why, especially with the beam routine, the girl started the skill set the wrong way around. Why aren't you videoing, well not you personally, but why is it the correct?
Okay, there is a correct one. Yeah, there's 2 girls, that, for example, in that beam routine, there are 2 beam routines. In level 5 beam, they can do a forward walkover, a backward walkover, a tick-tock or a cartwheel. I think there's the 4 options. Tell me if I'm wrong. So we've got one girl doing it with a tick-tock and she does it correctly. Then the next girl does it with the cartwheel in the place of the tick-tock, to give another example. And it wasn't until after, because these girls basically came to the gym, Zoe was there and just taught them their beam routines, and then they got up and did them. And it was only later when we actually showed the video that we thought, oh, she's done it round the wrong way. So that's what. So we put it on just for the example, how you can swap the cartwheel for the tick-tock. But there is one example of it correct anyway. Yeah. Okay. Have a look at the level 3. So this is cartwheel to step in. It was amazing that this little girl, Ting, that did the video, was very, very skilled, as you can see. She's just beautiful. But she could not finish with the music. We did it about 15 times and she could not understand that the beat of the music and that last final pose had to match up together. So it's amazing to think how beautiful and how talented she is in gymnastics, and yet she doesn't have that skill. So obviously it's a developmental thing that will obviously come later, but it's just an interesting little aside. Now on the video, all this beam and the floor are broken down into sections for you to show. So if you have gymnasts who like to watch rather than just read out of a book, actually just press play, Zoe. Like this is beam section 1, so it's just the first lot of skills showing what the choreography is. Okay, so that little section. So you can learn that little section and then section 2. So if you wanted just to teach kids in little bits, so on Monday they learn section 1 and then on Wednesday they come back and learn section 2, you can build on there. Stop. We've got one more floor start position to do, level 6, which is, oh, I know, every time I think about this, I'm going to tell you something else. Level 6 is called rock, or rock prelude, and the start position, oh, this one. Okay, everyone standing up, last one. Oh, yeah. So left arm over the top of your head, left foot forward, right foot back with your toes turned under, right arm by your side looking down to your right arm or just in front of your right hand. So right overhead's a right, really close arm bend, really close, almost touching your head. Or it is touching your head, Zoe?
No, it's like,
Oh,
your head up the top here.
yeah. So the hands resting on top of the head, an arm down below, looking down. And as you can see, that probably start position is a little bit more complex than a lot of the others, so it's level 6. Now let's go, we'll do all of them. So level 3, right from the beginning, left foot behind, arms diagonally, nice straight. makes me think about holding my tummy in. Level 3. Level 4 is the cha-cha one with the arms folded. And the whistle one with kneeling. Hands on hips at the back, twisting to the right, kneeling. That's a whistle routine. Level 5, 6 feet under, which is the bent to the shoulder. Left leg slightly bent, right leg out to the side, arm diagonally in front. A little bit of a twist to the left. The level 5 saint routine, feet apart, arms back, press back. And level 6 is over the head, right foot behind, slightly looking down to your right. So there you go. So when Kirsten teaches you the routines, you know all the start positions of all the levels, of all the routines. Thank you very much for that, Zoe. Now, one thing I forgot. Level 6. Some of the feedback we got when we were doing all this ALP things, that what are we going to do in compulsory routines, a lot of clubs said, oh, but these girls really like to have their own optional routine. You know, that's one of the things they love to come to gym and they have their own floor routine, their own beam routine. We've said, okay, that's fine. At level 6, we're providing you with a compulsory routine, beam and floor, bars and vault. But if you are in a situation where you have the resources to choose music for your athletes, choreograph their own individual optional floor and beam routine, then go for it. All we're saying is you have to do the skills that are in the level 6 routine. You can put them in your own choreography, your own floor routine, your own music. And a lot of girls have already got a choreographed optional floor routine at level 6 and they want to keep it. So all they have to do is put the skills in that are in the compulsory routine and do their own floor music. If they choose to do that, then of course artistry deductions will apply, which are in the manual under the level 7 to 10 artistry list, which is all to do with good body posture and being able to be expressive and make sure that the music is suitable for the athlete and that their movements match the music. So it's just not like elevator music playing in the background. They really need to be able to make sure that the music and the movement matches. So that's up to you as well. Any other questions? Okay, you've got a big day in front of you to learn all these routines, but it is fun, and I think they're fantastic routines. I love them, and I'm really looking forward to a first lot of competitions where we can see the girls in practice, which won't happen for a while. But I know that I did mention to Nastasia, she has got some girls doing the level 6 routines. She's going to video them for me, and so we can use them for judges' courses. If anyone else has the wherewithal to have the routines taught to their gymnasts, video their gymnasts, and you want to give me your floor routines for us to put in the judges' courses, I welcome them. So if you want to send them into GV, you can just do them on your iPad, save them as a file and send them in. I'd love them. That'd be great. Any other questions? Please come and talk to me and ask me other questions if you'd like to later.